Good evening. Welcome to the National News Broadcast. I'm Kasuni Balachandra.
And I'm Dishan Virakon, and we start off by taking a look at your headlines for tonight.
The President receives the interim report of the commission appointed to inquire into violation of human rights. Rice mill owners are ready to purchase paddy at the government guaranteed prices. The Finance Minister instructs government planning officials to give prominence to programs to strengthen the economy in the next 6 months. Commendations over President's decision not to implement the 4th stage of the Noracholi power generation project. A systematic investigation into the death of child Ishalini. A 10-hour interrogation on several groups in Diagama in this regard. Teachers in the north and the east continuously engage in online teaching.
Moving on to those and other stories in detail. The Presidential Commission of Inquiry for appraisal of the findings of previous commissions and committees on human rights and the way forward handed over its interim report to President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The event was held at the Presidential Secretariat last evening. The President in Extraordinary Gazettes issue and other such offences. The Commission is chaired by Supreme Court Judge AHMD Nawaz, and its other members are retired Inspector General of Police Chandra Fernando, retired District Secretary Nimal Abesiri, and former Mayor of Jaffna Yogeshwari Patkunaraja. The Commission, which is not in agreement with the calls to repeal the Prevention of Terrorism Act, highlights in the interim report that the PTA should be reformed in line with the laws against the prevention of terrorism in other countries, including in the UK. The Commission, which has paid special attention to the provisions 9, 11 and 13 of the PTA, has made 3 key recommendations in its interim report with regard to the implementation of the PTA in a more democratic manner. The Commission highlighted the possibility to expedite the hearing of cases of those who are being detained for a minimum of 3 months or a longer period under the Provision 9 of the PTA by filing indictments against them, and to confine the detainees to their own home or the residential area under special security instead of detaining them in prisons in line with the Provision 11 of the PTA. The Commission, in its interim report, proposes the importance of establishing an advisory board consisting of not less than 3 persons representing all ethnic groups to advise the President or the Minister in charge of defence under the Provision 13 of the PTA. It is the policy of the government to work with the United Nations and its agencies to ensure accountability and human resource development in order to achieve lasting peace and reconciliation. The government is committed to providing solutions for the issues to be resolved within the democratic and legal process, and to ensure justice and reconciliation by implementing necessary institutional reforms. The Presidential Commission of Inquiry for appraisal of the findings of previous commissions and committees and the way forward has been mandated to hand over its final report in the next 6 months. Secretary to the President P.B. Jayasundara, Additional Secretary to the President T.T. Upulmali, Foreign Secretary Admiral Jayanath Columbage, and the Director General of Legal Affairs of the Presidential Secretariat Harigupta Rohanadira were also present.
Now, Islamic devotees worldwide celebrate the Eid al-Adha festival today. The day signifies the conclusion of the Hajj pilgrimage. Now, the Hajj festival is considered as an occasion of solidifying the bonds of equality and brotherhood. In Arabic terms, Eid al-Adha denotes the festival of sacrifice which culminates the 5-day-long Hajj pilgrimage. According to the historical accounts, the god Allah, in order to test the devotion of Nabi Ibrahim, had given an order to hand over his son Ismail to him. This incident is being commemorated on the Eid al-Adha day due to the impact of the COVID pandemic. This year's Hajj festival is being commemorated throughout the world under special health guidelines. Just a few devotees were witnessed in Mecca as opposed to other years which were filled with millions of devotees. The devotees in the lands of Israel and Palestine, where intense clashes had taken place in recent times, are also celebrating Hajj. Islamic devotees in Sri Lanka have also celebrated Hajj in accordance with the health instructions to control the corona pandemic. Our correspondents have reported on how Islamic devotees engage in morning religious observances at mosques throughout the island. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, issuing a message in connection with the Hajj festival, says that teachers of all religions extend precious contribution for the building of mutual relations by strengthening universal ethics and social realities. The President in his message adds that Hajj festival has become an essential factor for good governance and continuous conducive conduct of the entire world. The Hajj veneration period is a spiritual event which reflects in the highest nature of the mutual understanding, compassion and equality among worldwide Islamic devotees. The President further says that he also sees this as a significant period of entrusting upon the cultural traits of the Islamic society to the future generation. He has also pointed out that however somewhat restrictions have been imposed today on the commemoration of traditional rituals due to the corona pandemic, these measures have been taken in the interest and the security of all people. The President further reiterates in his message of Muslims engaging in religious observances focusing special attention on health guidelines. The Islamic devotees have been deprived of attending Hajj pilgrimages in Mecca this year as well due to the spread of the corona disease. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa in his Hajj message points out that these restrictions would not pose that much of an obstruction to the auspicious Hajj day wishes based on peace, brotherhood and equality. The health divisions have advised not to engage in traditional religious practices of engaging in group worship at mosque. All must act with strong determination to ward off the COVID pandemic from the world. The Prime Minister's Hajj message also extends an invitation to the Muslim community to pray for Prophet Muhammad to relieve the entire world community from the COVID pandemic within a short period. Opposition leader Sajid Premdasa's Hajj message says the day symbolizes the importance of self-sacrifice. He further points out that noble qualities of social justice is being built to equality. The opposition leader further says that the need for such comradeship is being felt today as never before during this period of turmoil. Minister of Justice Ali Sabri has also issued a special message in connection with the Hajj festival. He points out that all Islamic communities should determine to live in brotherhood and equality with other ethnic groups, realizing the fundamental teachings of the religion of Islam.
All paddy mill owners have agreed to purchase paddy stocks at the guaranteed prices of the government. They have come into this agreement at a discussion with Trade Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardana and Minister of Agriculture Mahindananda Aluthgamage at the Ministry of Agriculture today. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, upon assuming duties as president, has taken measures to increase the government's guarantee price for purchasing paddy. Accordingly, 50 rupees is being provided for a kilo of Nadu and Kakalu paddy with effect from the current season. A kilo of Samba paddy is being brought for 52 rupees and a kilo of Kiri Samba for 55 rupees. The government is also purchasing a kilo of paddy with a moist paddy for 42 rupees. It has also been pointed out on the need to ban the accumulation of paddy stocks by third parties other than the farmers and the paddy mill owners with the intention of procuring unusual profits in the market. The ministers have reiterated that if the intermediary groups attempt to stockpile paddy, exploiting the farmers and the consumers, such paddy stocks will be taken over by the government and necessary legal measures will be taken against the culprits. Minister Mahindananda Aluthgamage said that the previous Good Governance government had purchased paddy from the farmers at a price of only 38 rupees. He stressed that after the current season, paddy will not be purchased at a price higher than the guaranteed price.
හාල්මිල ඉතාම ඉහළ ගියා. ඒ නිසා අද සමස්ත ලංකා විමෝල් හිමියන්ගේ සංගමයේ මහා පරිමාණ විමෝල් හිමියන්, මධ්‍යම පරිමාණ විමෝල් හිමියන් සහ සුළු පරිමාණ විමෝල් හිමියන්, ඒ වගේම සම්පකාර සම්බන්ධ වෙන විමෝල් හිමියන් සියලු දෙනා අද කෘෂිකර්ම අමාත්‍යාංශයත් වෙළඳ අමාත්‍යාංශයත් එක්ක අතර සාකච්ඡාවේදී එකඟතාවයකට ආවා. මේ කන්නේ ඉඳලා කිසිසේත් රජයේ සහතික මිලකට එහා වී මිලදී ගැනීම කරන්නේ නැහැ කියන. ඒ අනුව අපි මේ කන්නේදී වී මිලදී ගන්නේ සහතික කළ පිළට පමණයි. ඒ නිසා අද පළවෙනි වතාවට තමයි රටේ සියලුම වී මෝල් හිමියන් එක වේදිකාවකට ඇවිල්ලා කෘෂිකර්ම අමාත්‍යාංශයත් වෙළඳ අමාත්‍යාංශයත් එක්ක එකගාවකට එන්නේ සහතික මිලට වී ගන්නවයි කියලා. ඒ නිසා අපි මේ පිළිබඳව ඉතාම දැඩි ලෙස ඉන්නවා.
ඒ අතරතුර කිසියම් පාර්ශ්වයක් අතරමැදියෙක් ලෙස
Minister Dr. Banduru Gunawardena said that in the meantime, a group was engaged in paddy racketeering, posing as an intermediary group. Such practices have to be halted. The minister said that he will never allow any person to purchase paddy at a higher price and sell it at an even higher price. He added that all relevant acts are to be revised with cabinet approval in this regard.
In the meantime, Minister of Finance Basil Rajapaksa says that priority will be given to proposals on the empowerment of the economy in the next 6 months. Minister Rajapaksa has pointed out to the officials on the need to remain more vigilant on post activities during the period. Minister Basil Rajapaksa has made these remarks at a meeting of public representatives including governors and district secretaries at the Temple Trees yesterday. He has reiterated that there is absolutely no truth in the rumours being propagated over social media regarding him planning to levy a 14% tax on the Employee Provident Fund. The minister has also focused attention on the manner of conducting the COVID vaccination program. He said that his ministry has allocated funds for the purchase of vaccines without any conditions. The government has given prominence to fully open the country by providing the health security of the people. He added that therefore the economic sections in the country could be strengthened without delay. The government has finalized measures pertaining to 27 major factors that affect the future generation of the country under the implementation of the Green Sri Lanka program. He added that funds have also been allocated for the digitalization of state institutions for the success of the proposals. Sri Lanka is already receiving an income of around 1.2 billion rupees through technology-related employment. The minister added that even foreign countries have a tendency to seek the assistance of local technologists. The minister, commenting on the future economic program, has reiterated the importance to focus on methodologies that would encourage investors. He added that instances of investors confronting difficulties should be effectively identified and measures are to be taken to minimize such occurrences.
The Bishop of Geelong, Most Reverend Devashrita Valence Mendes, says that he appreciates the decision taken by the President not to implement the 4th stage of the Norachole Power Project. Most Reverend Devashrita Valence Mendes said at a media briefing today that they have been voicing their protest even long before the impending threat. The present government is in the position of relying upon completely on renewable sources of power by the year 2030. This is also a conducive step. He added that coal-powered power generation has become an extremely destructive means to destabilize the lives of people.
Now, several civil organizations have made a complaint to the Criminal Investigation Department to conduct a systematic investigation into the death of a female child while engaged in domestic service at the residence of parliamentarian Richard Badiuddin. The complaint was handed over by the Buddhist Information Centre, Deshapremi Jatika Vyapare, Lakmavage Dianiyo Jatika Vyapare, and the Anagateta Api Tharuna Vyapare, as well as the Public Responsibility Circle. The police says investigation on the death of the child is being carried out continuously.
Sri Lanka police are conducting further investigation into the death of 16-year-old girl, a domestic servant of the residence of ex-Minister Richard Badiuddin. We have deployed 3 police teams in order to conduct investigations, and 2 teams have gone to Puapitiya, Kirivandala area yesterday to conduct further investigations. The teams consist of the officers of National Crime Detective Bureau of Colombo South Division and Children and Women Bureau of Colombo South Division. Yesterday, 4 statements have been recorded by the teams in Kirivandala area, especially the statement of the principal and vice principal of the school where girl was schooling. A couple of years ago, the girl and the family had moved to Diagam area. Therefore, today 2 teams are going to record statements from the mother and other relevant witnesses who are in Diagama area. The teams have reached Diagama area at the moment. In addition to that, there is a domestic male servant called Rasa of the residence of ex-minister, and Boralla police has taken his phone into police custody, and the phone has been sent to the criminal investigation department yesterday to analyze the phone, especially the images or the other documents, to check whether the person has deleted documents or other images of the phone. We are conducting further investigations, the contents of the post-mortem report. In addition to that, we are going to leave the evidence of the witnesses at the magisterial inquest, and the post-mortem report has been submitted to the court. Accordingly, further investigations are being continued.
The Tamil Progressive Organization was also engaged in a protest demanding an investigation into the death of the 16-year-old child in Hatton Town today. They have requested not to deploy children in the plantations as domestic servants. Opinions have also been expressed on the incident at several media briefings today. A police team has arrived at the Diagama residence where the victim Ishalini was staying. The group was subjected to a 10-hour questioning. Statements have also been recorded from the mother, father and brother of the victim, as well as from the broker who took Ishalini to the residence of Rishad Badiuddin. Now, our regional correspondents say learning activities of school children in the northern and eastern provinces are being carried out without obstruction. Teachers in many other parts in the island continue to withdraw from engaging in online education. Schools in the northern province, including those in the districts of Kilinochchi, Mullaitivu, Mana and Vavuniya, as in schools in other parts of the country, remain closed in the face of the COVID threat. However, our reporters add that online teaching is being successfully conducted also in the districts of Ampara, Trincomalee and Batticaloa in the eastern province. Children are reported to show great enthusiasm in following online education. Teachers say that the Ministry of Education is also implementing special programs in areas where there are no internet facilities. They have commended the government for taking measures to conduct online teaching at a time of the corona threat. Accordingly, students in non-internet facility areas are being grouped into learning centers to provide online education according to health guidelines.
Minister Dr. Keheliya Rambukwala says that it is more appropriate for the state and private sector joint ventures to direct towards strengthening the state sector by facing new world tendencies. He was addressing a ceremony at the Ministry of Mass Media Auditorium today. The event was held in connection with the renovation of the Katharagama Holiday Resort of the Associated Newspapers of Ceylon Limited and the introduction of a new website. The resort is comprised of ultra-luxury rooms. Information pertaining to the luxurious facilities could be obtained through the new website www.lakehouserest.lk. Chairman and Managing Director of the ANCL President's Council, W. Dayaratna, and members of the Board of Directors of the company were also present on this occasion. Media Minister Dr. Keheliya Rambukwala has called upon to make use of the opportunities made available in the unfortunate situation. He added that a policy decision has been taken to carry forward the private-public partnership concept. He also said that therefore there is more opportunity for private-state joint ventures. Minister Rambukwala also said that current tendency in the world is the adding of businesses and banking systems. Such a move would enable to reduce overhead expenditure. Time has come to think in a novel concept. There is no use in embracing all. A portion has to be taken off. The minister has reiterated the need for all to come out of the fallen mentality and to use the resources to the maximum extent.
Meanwhile, Director General of Health Services Dr. Asela Gunawardena says that Sri Lanka is to receive a further consignment of 90,000 Pfizer vaccines on the 26th of this month. He added that another batch of 2 million doses of Sinopharm vaccine manufactured in China are also scheduled to arrive tomorrow morning. The Director General of Health Services also said that samples of several persons suspected to have been infected with the Delta variant were subjected to examination.
We are receiving another 2 million doses of Sinopharm vaccine today, and it will be distributed to several districts: Matara, Hambantota, Kurunegala, Puttalam, Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, Nuwara, Ratnapura, Badulla, Monragala, Ampara and Batticaloa. These 2 million will be distributed among these districts, and another 1.6 million Sinopharm doses will be received as a donation by the request by His Excellency the President, and it will be distributed again among Galle district, Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, Nuwara, Ratnapura, Monragala, Ampara, Batticaloa, Trincomalee, Jaffna, Kilinochchi, Mullaitivu and Vavuniya. And at the moment, Moderna vaccine distributed in Kandy and Matale districts, and we are expecting another 1.47 million AstraZeneca doses within this month. It will be given as the second dose of the people who have taken the first dose. There is approximately nearly 600,000, and the rest of the doses will be distributed in Galle district as the first dose and the second dose of vaccination. And we are receiving another 90,000 Pfizer vaccine on 26th of this month. It will be given as the second dose of Pfizer vaccine who have received the first dose in Puttalam and Mannar district. The vaccines which are rolling out at the MOH levels or the district, I urge from the general public not to select any vaccines according to their brands. Please go and take your vaccine, whatever the vaccine is available in the MOH area, and don't rely on the efficacy or whatever the things which are coming in media or any other document. So all these vaccines were approved by the WHO and the NMRA in this country. So all these vaccines are effective to prevent the severe disease as well as the deaths occurring. So get whatever the vaccines which are giving at the relevant MOH area in your area, and go and get the vaccine as soon as possible to prevent getting the disease and help us to prevent spreading of this disease in the community. Yesterday there was an outbreak at factory at Kasbah MOH area, and a few cases reported from Piliyandala MOH area. And from the sequencing variant PCR, they have identified 10 suspected people from the variant PCR, and we have sent for the samples for gene sequencing. So it will take at least 14 days to report us whether they are Delta variant or not. So we will be getting the confirmation after 14 days. And all these positive people who have reported yesterday, we have sent them to the intermediate care centers for the treatment.
Now taking a look at the corona situation here at home, 7,852,443 doses of vaccines have already been provided so far to the people under the COVID-19 immunization program. The vaccination program is being carried out continuously throughout the island. 95,037 have been given the first dose of the Sinopharm vaccine yesterday under the COVID immunization program. The second dose of the same vaccine has been given to 12,655. 18,745 have been given the Pfizer vaccine yesterday. 130,596 have been given the first dose of the Moderna vaccine yesterday. In the last 7 days, 1,775,667 doses of vaccines have been delivered to the people. The number of vaccines given yesterday amounted to 257,033. 1,180 COVID-19 patients were detected from the country today. Meanwhile, 930 patients left the hospitals today following recovery. Director General of Health Services said the 47 COVID-19 deaths were reported yesterday. Minister C.B. Ratnayake has arrived at the Kawdulla National Wildlife Park recently, which was remained closed temporarily due to the COVID-19 pandemic. He was present to inspect the implementation of a program for the newly reopened park. Meanwhile, the health divisions request parents that if their children are suffering from any disease condition, they should be immediately subjected to medical treatment. Director of Health Promotion Bureau Dr. Ranjit Batubantudawa made remarks over the present situation in the country during a media briefing held today.
Today we discussed about the pediatric cases reported from the Lady Ridgeway Hospital, and we were made aware that these 10 deaths which were reported were over a 1 year's duration. And again we discussed about the Delta variant and what the message is. Irrespective of the variant, irrespective of the restrictions, we have to practice our COVID appropriate behaviors. Then only we will be able to stop this disease spreading. And of course, the vaccination is going at a very good pace, and Sri Lanka is placed in a good position when it comes to the vaccination. And last, and the important message I want to give to all the heads of institutions, all the heads of institutions in our country should take maximum precaution that their institute is maintained as a COVID-free zone. The requirements for hand washing, and somebody is to be appointed by name to look after the application of proper COVID-appropriate behaviors in the institution. I think this will be a very good practice. All the institutes should practice.
Police media spokesman Senior DIG Ajit Rohana says that police have taken 207 persons into custody during the last 24 hours for violating quarantine regulations. Accordingly, a total of 51,392 persons have been arrested thus far for such violations.
207 persons have been arrested in connection with the offences of quarantine rules and regulations, face mask and social distancing for a period of last 24 hours. In addition to that, 51,392 persons have been arrested since the inception of quarantine law, 30th of October 2021. We are continuing with quarantine operations, especially we are in a long weekend and special police teams have been deployed in order to monitor the situation during the long weekend. The operations have been initiated from today. In addition to that, we would like to make a request from the general public that we have experiences in misconducts of various parties during the Sinhala and Hindu New Year period in respect of health habits and COVID guidelines. So therefore, we were compelled to close the country for a period of 5 weeks. And again, no one is expecting such a situation. Therefore, all the times, adhere with health habits, quarantine rules and regulations, and respect the face mask concept and social distancing concept.
Now, recently appointed State Minister of Coastal Conservation and Lowland Conservation Mohan De Silva has inspected the environmental damage caused by the Express Pearl ship today. This was his first official duty in the new ministerial portfolio. The vessel, which was destroyed by fire in last May, continues to remain in the exact place of the accident under the security of the Sri Lanka Navy. Several institutions have focused attention on the implementation of a joint program to provide short, medium and long-term solutions to the problematic conditions that have arisen due to the environmental degradation as a result of the ship accident. The assistance of the 3 armed forces and the Department of Civil Defence are scheduled to be obtained to prevent further destructions to the coastal belt due to this mishap. A preliminary stage handing over of compensation to the fishing community affected by the ship fire incident has taken place yesterday. Colombo District Development Committee Chairman Parliamentarian Pradeep Undugoda has presided over this event. More than 2,000 fishermen in the Divisional Secretariat divisions of Colombo, Timbirigasaya, Ratmalana, Dehiwala and Moratua have become eligible to receive compensation.
Agga Maha Pandita Most Venerable Dodampahala Chandrasiri Thero has been appointed to the Supreme Mahanayaka position of the Amarapura Mahanikaya. The governing Sangha Sabha of the Amarapura Mahanikaya, which was met yesterday, has appointed the Most Venerable Dodampahala Chandrasiri Thero to the position fell vacant due to the passing away of Agga Maha Pandita Most Venerable Kotogoda Dhammavasa Mahanayaka Thero. Most Venerable Dodampahala Chandrasiri Thero was born in the Dodampahala village in Mathara on the 29th of December 1939. He had received ordination in the year 1950. Most Venerable Dodampahala Chandrasiri Thero had been instrumental in setting up several meditation centers, including the Kaludiya Pokuna Tapowanaya and Kegol Tapowanaya in the sanctuary. He is also the chief incumbent of the Gauthama Tapowana Bhavana Center in Kalapuluava. Most Venerable Nayaka Thera has also held the post of Mahanayaka of the Sri Kalyana Vansha Nikaya, affiliated to the Amarapura Mahanikaya.
Now, the 12th Perahara of the Katharagama Asala festival is presently parading the streets. The 11th Perahara was held yesterday. Today's Perahara has commenced at 7:23 p.m. It was conducted without the participations of devotees. The Perahara has reached the Valyamma Devalaya to perform rituals. It came to an end upon the return to the Maha Devalaya. The fire trampling ceremony was also conducted this morning. Basnayaka Nilame, Dishan Gunasekara and others have sprinkled cold water to reduce temperature of the fire before the ceremony. Well, that's a wrap of tonight's primetime news bulletin here at Rupavahini ChannelEye, and until we meet again next time, do take care, stay safe and good night.
Good night.